Hello, greetings. My name is Elias Fresher, and in this video, I'll be exploring and analyzing this painting called Cain and Abel by Tia Viccellio, or just Ticion. First off, the basics. Without much shock, the painting Cain and Abel is about the story of Cain and Abel from Genesis chapter 4, depicting verse 8 specifically, though intriguingly, it doesn't only depict that verse, but multiple verses and a non-canonical combination of events. It shows verses 4 through 5 with the smoke of Cain and Abel's sacrifices right behind them. Note that the smoke of Cain's sacrifice is not coming from the far-off distance, which I totally did not think originally at all, but is actually coming from right just here, right next to Abel's. One can only assume that verses 6 through 7, God's consultation with Cain, had already occurred by this point rather quickly if that were the case, or just were simply skipped to focus on the main events of the tale, which would be fulfilled with verse 8 being displayed in action, the fratricide taking place. Beyond that, it does appear to just, besides some artistic details, actually a lot of artistic details, portray Cain killing Abel. But what are some aspects or qualities of the painting itself? For one, the angle perception seems to be on the ground, not looking straight up, but not looking parallel to the environment either. It'd be more accurate to say that if it were a camera that was used, for example, it was facing around 20 degrees upwards, based very roughly on what we can see of Abel's altar. Along with that, the colors are pretty dreary, unsurprisingly for the tone of the situation. This painting has a very earthy feel, with almost all the colors, beyond a bit of red and the nearly grayish blue tint to Cain's garb having a dark or brownish base to them. Interestingly, that red, Abel's blood, does stand out, though only somewhat, and even that seems purposeful somehow. The red contrasts its environment enough to denote Abel's death, but not too much to become overbearing. However, there is more than just moderation at play. The blood's semiconductivity with the painting's shade also shows how close the blood is to the ground, not just in placement, but in visual essence. The verse about the blood crying out to me from the ground seems almost already fulfilled. The lines that separate the blood from the ground are there, but certainly are a bit vague. There are also clear reasons for why Cain appears to have more shadows overcasting him compared to Abel, despite being closer to a lit light source. The implications are not difficult to decipher. Cain is in the darkness because he is committing the first murder in history, and the godly Abel is at the receiving end. One is in the city of man, and the other in the city of God. Naturally, the dark tone brought up not only refers to the colors used, but the atmosphere painted as well. Everything is overcast, and the clouds are gloomy, no doubt because of the circumstance. However, those clouds are not the only clouds of importance. There are also two pillars of smoke found in the background. The one on the right is, and no doubt, Abel's, shown by its flame, which in the process of getting mixed with the smoke almost produces hues of gold as it goes upwards. In contrast, Cain's looks almost like a failed missile launch, lit but not catching fire, producing smoke but not producing an aroma, and altogether looking unsuccessful. The smoke looming in the background serves as well as a reminder for the viewer of why Cain is killing Abel, and as a reminder for Cain himself of his own failure. Naturally, in this moment, what is negative tends to take prevalence, with Abel's God-honoring sacrifice taking up a smaller portion of what is seen. It is a beautiful painting, depicting a dreadful story, so that to teach an important lesson. Sin does not remedy a situation, it makes it much worse. On a final note, the picture also seems to have some interesting symmetry, with most of the limbs and Abel's body either being parallel or perpendicular to Cain's arms holding the club, which the club itself seems to be not perfectly, but almost near 0 degrees with the painting itself, with the arms seemingly being around 30 degrees tilted from that club, showing some intentionality with the proportions provided. And yeah, that is my presentation today, or in-depth analysis, of the painting Cain and Abel. I want to thank you so much for watching this, and as you walk away from this, I both hope that you learn a lot from this endeavor, and that you have a great day. Farewell.